need to look at these guys down here. Faster cones.
We are back at the University of Texas Swimming Center for the 100 freestyle consolation final. And quickly, here are the lane assignments. Doug Ellis of TCU at the top. Tom Kelly of Arkansas in lane 2. Miles Lynch, SMU, lane 3. Keith Anderson, lane 4, freshman from Texas. Mike Baroza, lane 5 from A&M. Lee Jamison from Texas, lane 6. Greg Magnus, Arkansas, lane 7. And David Cole, a junior from A&M in lane 8. This is the equivalent of the 100-yard dash.
That's right. As you can see in lane 4, Keith Anderson, who is just a freshman at the University of Texas, take a early lead coming into the halfway mark. Very close.
Yeah, lane 4, 5, and 6, it looks like now. Keith Anderson, Mike Baroza, Lee Jamison, 2 Texas swimmers and an A&M swinger will come right down to the final lap.
As you can see, lane 4, Keith Anderson has a very good turn. He has already qualified in the 50, and as you can see how important the kick is and how they're turning it on right here.
Here it comes. Bingo, lane 4, Keith Anderson. Mike Baroza of A&M in lane 5 finishes second. Lane 7, Greg Magnus of Arkansas finishing third. A time of 45.15. That is not good enough to qualify, but of course there are some point totals, are there not, from consolation?
That's right. Keith Anderson is a very raw and talented swimmer. He's only a freshman, but he has a nickname of the Great White Hope, and they expect big things from him a couple years down the road.
That is the consolation finals for the 100-yard freestyle. We'll be back with an interview with the winner of the 1650 when Home Sports Entertainment continues in just a moment. Back at the Texas Swimming Center. Before we go to the finals for the 100-yard freestyle, we have an interview with the winner of the 1650 with Jane Rita Serwin. Jane Rita?
Thanks, Steve. I'm with Brian Cisna. Brian, congratulations. How did you feel during that swim?
It felt a lot better than I'd planned. I had anticipated some pain around the 1300 mark, and surprisingly it wasn't there.
Now, you're just a sophomore, but you're already defending this title. What do you see going into the NC2As in this event?
I basically wanted to get a good time so I could get a nice seed and be top 8 at night. And I hope to go about 1450.
Great. Good luck.
Thank you.
Steve?
Thank you, Jane Rita. Tracy, if I had swam 1650, which I would not, I'd have trouble breathing, much less talking after that. They have to be in tremendous shape.
Definitely. The distance swimmers spend a lot of time in the water, do a lot of yardage, a lot of mileage. They usually spend anywhere from 4 hours to 6 hours a day in the water training.
Eddie Reese, the Texas coach, told me that Brian Cisna warms up before the 1650 by swimming 1,500 yards.
Probably. I'd say most distance swimmers need at least that. They need to get their body as warmed up as possible for an event like that. They don't want to go in there feeling awful, or it's an awful long race.
We will have the award ceremony for the 1650 before we have the finals of the 100-yard freestyle. Here are the results of the 1650. Of course, Brian Cisna, as we said, of Texas, getting 20 points. And Jeff Olson of Texas finishing second. Danny Goodwin of SMU finishing third. Andy Duplessis of Texas finishing fourth, or tie for third, I should say. Then Rance Boren of A&M, fifth. Patrick Brundage of Texas, sixth. And Anthony Mondello, who ran in the previous heat, finishing seventh. And Eric Heil of Arkansas finishing eighth. And there's Jeff Olson receiving his award for second. So Texas sweeping, literally sweeping an awful lot of points there. Let's see, they got 20 points for first, 16 for second. Well, they split third and fourth, which means they get 13 out of that. So that is 49 points out of the first event tonight.
That's one of their stronger events the UT team has is in the distance. And I think Brian Cisna should be very happy with his time going into the NCAAs.
Texas A&M. Lane 2, Steve Sheedy of the University of Arkansas. Lane 3, John Miranda of SMU. Lane 4, Mike Newhoffel of Arkansas.
Lane assignments
Lane
for the championship
5,
finals.
James Pringle of Arkansas. Lane 6, Andy Seiko of Texas. Lane 7, Steve Geving of SMU. Lane 8, Todd Pace of SMU.
In this race, the start is very, very crucial, so let's watch that. It's going to be a very, very fast race.
Qualifying for the NCAA, 44.59 seconds.
Let's watch lane 4 and 5. They're very, very explosive swimmers.
It's a good start.
Lane 4 is Mike Newhoffel, who won the 50 2 nights ago, and he's also the fastest qualifier in this lane. He's a very, very big kid, very, very strong swimmer.
They're still tightly bunched up as they come back up to the 50 mark. 3, 4, 5, 6. All seem to be very grouped there. John Miranda of SMU in lane 3.
Lane 4, that's Mike Newhoffel at a split of 21.37, touching first.
His teammate James Pringle is in lane 5, giving him a good run for his money as well.
Very, very close, as you can see. Jamie Pringle taking the lead. Going into the final 5 yards, it looks like Jamie Pringle.
Jamie Pringle of Arkansas. And give his teammate Mike Newhoffel second place. Pringle, I think, won that on the turnaround at the 75-yard mark.
That's right. He had a very, very good turn going into the third length there, and I think that's what got him past Mike Newhoffel.
A time of 44.21. Now, the Southwest Conference record is 43.20 seconds. That's quite a bit off of that, but it is underneath the NCAA qualifying time.
Both he and Mike Newhoffel made the standard this morning and did it again tonight.
Arkansas very strong here in the sprint. They finished 1, 2, and 5. So the Razorbacks will pick up quite a few points, and they still have a shot at second place. Here's the finish.
As you can see, Jamie Pringle is really stretching out right underneath the flags. He keeps his head down and stretches for the wall.
So Arkansas doing some damage in the sprints. Our next event will be the men's 200-yard backstroke. We have quite a record here in the Southwest Conference from this. Rick Carey, of course, an Olympian for the University of Texas, set a standard that is almost impossible to set.
Yeah, that record was set in 1984 with a time of 1:45.35.
Here are the consolation finals and the lane assignments. C.B. Woodworth of TCU in the top, lane 2. Paul Thomas of TCU in lane 3. Robert Bullock in lane 4 from A&M. Mike Richardson from A&M in lane 5. Steve Kellum, lane 6 from TCU. Brad Burleson from TCU in lane 7. 200-yard backstroke.
This race is 8 laps long, and we can see the top qualifier was Robert Bullock from the morning with a time of 1:53.32. These gentlemen are going for places 9 through 16.
They still can score points for their team in this bottom, is that right?
That's right. They all score points. 9th place scores 11 points on down.
The qualifying time for the NCAA in this event, 1 minute, 49 and 7/200 seconds.
As you can see, Robert Bullock has pretty much a commanding lead. He's looking very good, very rotates his shoulder very well, and he's very long. Coming into the halfway mark, as you see underwater, his split of 54.19.
That's a great underwater shot because the turn in all these races is so important.
Right, and in backstroke, it's one of the races that you do have to touch with your hand when you're going into the wall as opposed to the freestyle event. Robert Bullock with his teammate in lane 5, Mike Richardson right behind him, and in lane 3, Paul Thomas of TCU. Robert Bullock coming into the third turn, time of 1:23.55.
Does he have a chance of making qualifying?
He's going to be just a little shy, but he should be able to better his time from this morning.
All right, let's take a look and find out. Again, qualifying time for NCAA, 1 minute, 49 and 7/200 seconds.
As he comes home on the last 25, he's driving real hard. His head's very steady. He's trying to get his kick, but as you can see, he's getting a little tired. Not too much splash.
You're right. He's not going to quite make it. And as a matter of fact, he had a better time this morning. He finishes first in consolation with a time of 1 minute, 53 and 9/200 seconds.
That still scores important points for the A&M team, and that's very important in the team race.
Texas A&M finishing 1-2 in this consolation. We'll be back with an awards ceremony and the finals for this event when Home Sports Entertainment continues in just a moment.